Congratulations, you are now discharged and healthy.
Woohoo! Freedom! All right, here's some background information for our study. There are many different factors that cause a patient to experience hospital-acquired functional decline. A patient may be living at the 1 rep max level already prior to admission, and the surgery or admission reason, a fall or injury, may be the tipping point of loss of independence and loss of ADLs. Our specific population of interest needs to include hospitalized patients who are at risk for functional decline. We are focusing on the elderly population, 65 and up, as they are at high risk for functional decline even when admitted for typically non-disabling issues. Gaps in knowledge for the specific topic are regarding standardization and implementation across hospital systems. Who, how, and when should these functional measures be completed? Who would complete the functional measures, and when would the functional measure be best administered? What are the specific cutoff scores for hospital-acquired functional decline? This is an important issue to investigate, especially for hospital systems from a cost standpoint, due to the enormous costs of long-term hospitalizations as well as Medicare penalties for repeat admissions. Early and more aggressive interventions for those that are identified at higher risk for functional decline would save lives and potentially prevent decline in these patients. This would also result in more efficient use of hospital-based resources. Go.
The purpose of this study is to identify areas of improvement to prevent hospital-acquired functional decline. This will promote independence of patients after discharge from hospitalization and help prevent and lower readmission rates. A potential measurement tool that we use to track the progress of patients and identify patients that would benefit from early interventions will be done using the CATS index. The CATS index has many different questions regarding activities of daily living and will result in a final score on a 3-point scale depending on the level of independence the patient is at. The 3 possible outcomes of the CATS index are independent, partially independent, and completely dependent. This study will track patient progression during hospitalization and identify possible methods to improve patient outcomes. It will also determine the changes in readmission rates with the new methods and determine independence after discharge.
Go.
For our study's hypothesis is implementing early identification of factors through functional outcome measures will help prevent hospital-acquired functional decline by appropriately allocating resources for early interventions during hospitalization for patients aged 65 and older. The independent variable in the study will be the presence of risk factors for hospital-acquired functional decline, and the dependent variable will be a functional outcome measure such as the CATS index discussed earlier to identify loss of independence and ability to complete activities of daily living. The 3 possible outcomes of the CATS index are independent, partially dependent, and completely dependent.
All right, so our clinical relevance justification. This study is most appropriate and targeted towards acute care in the geriatric population, but these findings can likely be applied to other inpatient settings like a specialized nursing facility. Early identification of those at risk for functional decline would influence the urgency and prioritization of evaluations by the physical therapy department, and early intervention methods would likely involve PT for strengthening and other interventions. The study will specifically look at the AU health system and work alongside the internal medicine team.
Go.
All right, I know you were recently admitted to the floor for your head injury and hip contusion after your fall, but your functional outcome measure that was just completed shows that you're at a higher risk for hospital-acquired functional decline because you're at what we define as a partially dependent state. This means you have multiple risk factors that increase your chance of being unable to return to living independently, and we would recommend that you participate in early interventions in order to increase your strength and movement in order to prevent functional decline and loss of independence. And we'll start with some gait training today if you're down for that.
I am.
Perfect. Alright, so we're going to start with some sit-to-stands. These are really important to keep you functional. So what you're going to do is you're going to lean over, get your nose over toes,
Okay.
forward. You're going to hold on to this gate belt just for safety, and you're going to sit up and go ahead and stand.
Okay.
Try not to use your arms on that next one, and then nice and slow back down. Good. We're going to do this a couple more times. Wow, your functionality is improving while your strength is improving. Great job. Alright, so we're going to go up to this box, walk a little bit more forward, and then you're going to put one foot up at a time. You're going to step up like you're stepping onto the stairs. Up, up, yep, and then back down, back down. Good. We're going to do this a couple more times. Perfect. This is also working on your functional strength. Alright, so for the last thing, we're just going to work on your gait. So normalizing that gait and making that gait speed faster, okay? So
Okay.
go ahead and just start walking. Good, and I know your injury was on that right hip, so really use that cane to help you when you're stepping onto that right. Great job. Your gait speed is increasing. Wow. Congratulations! With all those early interventions, you've been cleared to go back home because you're fully independent.
That's fantastic.
Yep, so you're discharged from the hospital.